The first thing to go before the club's reputation is the respect that people have for the manager, the players, and the entity. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Mason Mount runs the club allegedly, according to what Graham Potter said after the game. Graham Potter thought it was a great attitude from the players and great performance. And more importantly, the Champions League draw was on. I didn't watch it, but I've got the results all for you. And the reason I didn't watch it is because I'm still rattled by the fact that we lost to Arsenal. Arsenal FC came to Stamford Bridge, bopped us around the pitch and humbled us. I'm sorry, but it was as if we were Arsenal and they were Chelsea. Let's get into this video. Welcome to the Kavkas View, guys. 24 hours after the humiliation, after the show of all shows for Arsenal fans, after the next time that Arsenal are going to be talking to us and telling us, shut up, we beat you again at home. 3 years in a row now, we've not picked up a victory against Arsenal FC. And in today's video, like I said, I'm going to bring you guys the fallout after the game. And the fallout is disgusting. What Potter said makes me want to say Potter out. I'm not Potter out, but you know what? It got me that hot. It got me to the point where I said sack him. Honestly, I was feeling that because it is unacceptable, his post-kick match conference like speech. It's unacceptable. We're going to break down the Champions League groups. We're going to have a quick deep dive into that. And on top of that, we are linked with a wonder kid. A wonder kid that could potentially come and save us. 3 clubs want him. Endrick, the new Neymar, 16 years old. 3 goals in 5 games. He is here. £60 million apparently what Chelsea are going to bid. We're all going to cover this in one video. So let's get into it. Guys, I need you lot to do me a massive favor. I need the like button to be hit. I need you lot in the comments below to tell me what number like you are. So if you're number 37, write 37. If you're 99, 99. 69, 69. You get the gist. It goes a long way. It gets the algorithm working. And if you guys want to build up the community and message me while the games are on, in the pinned comment is my Instagram. Hit me up in the DMs. I respond during the game. And I always have good banter with you guys afterwards. It really builds a great community. So let's do that. Let's get into the video though. Let's start with the Champions League draw. Let's start with some positives. A quick roundup of the Champions League draw. Leipzig get Manchester City. Manchester City should have an easy way of getting out of that team because they're better than them in every single which way. They're going to dominate them. Yes, there's going to be a few problems with Nkunku and Werner on the break, but I don't see that being an issue. Bruges versus Benfica. Benfica are finally going to get into the last 8 again, and they're going to do it in style. They've got a great midfield. Enzo Fernandez, Rafa Silva, João Mario. They are going to absolutely Bruges, in my opinion. This is going to be a simple one as well. Antonio at centre-back is a very good player for Benfica, by the way, if any of you want to go check him out. On top of that, Real Madrid, Liverpool. That is going to be a classic. I love when big battles in the last 16 occur. I feel that Real Madrid are going to beat Liverpool. I don't think that this is the same Liverpool that it was once, but at the same time, Liverpool with Mo Salah, Darwin Nunez, Firmino, Luis Diaz will be back at that time, Jota. They always have a chance. Gonna be an interesting tie. Can't wait to see that one. Milan Spurs. I pray Milan slap up Spurs home and away. I want Spurs to go out. I've got my Conte agenda that needs to continue. We've got Frankfurt, Napoli. Napoli with Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen are going to be fine. They're going to win. They're going to get into the last 8. And they will be a problem for any team. Frankfurt won the Europa League, but I highly doubt that they're going to go on another miraculous run. They're a small team. They've already had a great achievement financially by getting to this stage. Then you start looking at Porto versus Inter Milan. Inter Milan is a great tie, right? Inzaghi's going to have a good opportunity to guide Inter to another level, to a level that with Romelu Lukaku and Lautaro and Dzeko, where they can actually just shock teams. Once you get to the last 8, that's not a problem. You got PSG, Bayern Munich, 2 juggernauts coming together. The Neymar, Messi, Mbappe soap opera is going to continue, and one of them could potentially be going out, either Bayern or PSG in the last. And then that leaves you with us. We've got Dortmund. Dortmund should be an easy-ish tie for us. Why I say easy-ish? Well, number one, they're very inexperienced. They've got Jude Bellingham leading the line with Moukoko and Adeyemi, and they also have Thorgan Hazard. They've got Gio Reyna, so it's good players, but players that aren't known for their caliber of getting it done in the last 16. It's players that are still developing. Their defense is shocking, in my opinion, and we should be able to beat them. But, as I always say, we've got a new manager. This manager does not know what the last 16 of the Champions League's like. Two-legged affairs are completely different, so we have to respect our opponent, and we need to appreciate that they could give us a good hiding if we're not careful. They gave Manchester City a good game or two, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it was very interesting to see how Manchester City played against them. A lot of you always say we need to be going and signing the top tier talents. A lot of you always say this, but one way of doing this and ensuring we can legally do this by not breaking financial fair play is by being good in the UEFA Champions League. And this has been highlighted with our reign under Thomas Tuchel. And this is why I'm so scared of us dropping out for a foreseeable future, right? We have to be in. At this moment in time, because of Thomas Tuchel and our good runs in the Champions League in the last 2 years, we are the 5th best ranked side. Let that sink in, right? There are 4 sides that are higher ranked than us. Number 1 being Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and Juve. We are 5th in that coefficient. Next year, we're likely to drop out, and Manchester City are most probably going to overtake us, and maybe even Liverpool. We have got 81 million euros for just getting to this stage of the Champions League. That's 71 million pounds. Let's break this down. We got 15.6 million euros for participating. We got 22 million euros for getting out the group and getting to this stage at this moment in time. Then we got 31.8 million euros for being the 5th best team in Europe across the last 5 years. And this is very important. And we got 13.7 million euros for being on TV one of the most times. So altogether, that's 81 million euros. And why do we need that kind of money? Well, number 1 is we need to meet financial fair play. Number 2, we need to make sure that the brand of Chelsea continues to grow. And number 3, we need to ensure we're just competitive on the pitch. This is a good indicator and we're getting rewarded for ourselves. And if a Super League ever does come, we need to be front and center of it. A lot of fans are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to tell you now, I'd rather be in the Super League than left out with literally going, well, we're not going to play in the Super League, we're going to be proud. We're going to lose all our players, guys. Look, football's going in that direction, and the likelihood is the Super League's going to happen. So if it is going to happen, I want Chelsea to be involved. I'm sorry, judge me all you want, but that's my view. And now we're linked with a wonder kid called Endrick. And being good in the Champions League makes stuff like this happen. So who is Endrick and what do we know about him? Well, Endrick is a 16-year-old Brazilian kid that's been absolutely smashing it in the under-21s and now has started to play for the first. For the first team, he has got 2 goals in 5 games and now he's only started 1. He's literally picking up pace. He's not going to make the Brazil squad, he's too young. All the big clubs around Europe have been looking at him. Fabrizio Romano confirms that 3 clubs that are actively preparing a £60 million bid for the kid are number 1, Barcelona, number 2, Real Madrid, number 3, Chelsea. Apparently PSG are sniffing around as well, and this is very interesting. His father's come out and said they've got no concrete decisions at this moment in time who to go after and where to go, but at this moment in time they want the kid to develop. What do we know about him? We know that the kid is very talented, he's very quick, he's a good finisher, but what do we not know about him? We don't know how he's going to grow. We don't know what he's going to be like in 2 years' time when he hits 18 and he starts growing into his adult body and how that's going to change. We've seen many young talents come out of Brazil and be touted to be the next big thing. We've seen Gabi Barbosa, we've seen Gabriel Jesus, we've seen Paulo Hikiganzu. If anyone remembers him, we've seen Oscar, we saw Lucas Moura, all come out with crazy reputations. Whilst those players didn't all go and be uber successful and reach the hype, we also did see Neymar, who came out and was absolutely fantastic. We saw Rodrigo's hype, which was crazy, and we saw Vinny's hype, which is absolutely crazy, but it's coming to fruition. So the fact of the matter is, I feel like his father's going to get him to go to Real Madrid. That's the logical. But if there's any hope of Chelsea going in and signing this young Brazilian talent and getting him across in 2 years' time and planning forward, maybe we should act now, because we got burnt when we didn't sign Neymar. We were interested in Vinicius, but he chose Real Madrid. We were interested in Rodrigo, but he chose Real Madrid. And Real Madrid said never again. The minute they missed out on Neymar and didn't want to pay the money, they said never again are we going to miss out on the next big thing from Brazil. And all of a sudden, now look at it. They've got Rodrigo on the right, Vinny on the left, and all they need is Endrick through the middle, who needs Mbappe, right? But that's the thing. Now let's get into our real problems. And Chelsea and Potter. So if any of you haven't watched my review from yesterday, you need to go and watch it, because I literally might have been the closest to have lost my cool in a while when it came down to it, because they really irritated me. They really pushed my buttons yesterday. I am a proud Chelsea. I hate losing to Arsenal more than I hate losing to anyone. At times, I think I would rather lose 2 games to nobodies than lose 1 game to Arsenal. That's how much it bugs me. Even though mathematically it makes no sense, it irritates me to that extent. But we're going to break this down. We're going to talk about it in a nice, colourful way. And this is what Potter said after the game. And Potter went on along the lines of saying, the players showed a great attitude, they tried. I'm sorry, what? Where did the players try? Name the players that tried, because I'm dead serious. Who tried? Kai Havertz? You call that trying? Mason Mount, you call that trying? Ruben Loftus-Cheek looked like he was just chilling. The only players that can, like I said yesterday after the game, could hold their head high was Thiago and Azpilicueta and Trevor Chalobah. Maybe even Jorginho if I'm going to throw someone else in. The rest did not try. The rest were absolutely pathetic. If that's them trying, I worry about the future of this club. But what was alarming for me was what Graham Potter said after he was asked about Mason Mount. He went on to say Mason likes to play multiple games and wants to make sure that the rhythm is there for him because he likes to start games consecutively. Listen, I'm sorry, but what? The guy either needs a rest or he's just crap. One of the two. Please answer that one. Do you think Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, Kai Havertz, Raheem Sterling don't want to play in their best position and notify you where they want to play? No, I don't think so. Allegedly, according to our new manager. It just highlights to me what the problem is with this club. The problem is I've gone from Didier Drogba, Frank Lampard, John Terry running the dressing room because they were allowed to, because they were that good, with Michael Ballack and Essien, to now going to Eden Hazard, who ran the dressing room, who was the boss, trained when he wanted to, because he could, because he was that good, our greatest player of all time. Yet, to Mason Mount running the dressing room. That's where the problem lies. What has Mason Mount achieved to warrant him being the face of Chelsea? I'm sorry, if any of you start going with, he won us the Champions League. He didn't win us nothing. Who won us the Champions League was that midfield of Kante and Jorginho, accompanied with a defense of Rudiger Christensen and Thiago Silva with Mendy in goal. We won that based on our merits in the defensive collective unit. We attacked, we scored some goals here and there, but there was no standout forward. Don't fool yourselves, okay? It was the defense in the midfield that won us that. Mount was in the front three. Havertz was in the front three. Yes, he scored the goal. But what, we're going to be accrediting the whole award of winning the Champions League to a goal and an assist. Don't get it twisted. I've had enough with a lot of these players right now, you know. I am really angry with these players. Like, they're going to have to do a lot for me to start trusting them again. Because the reality is, the fact of the matter is, the honesty here is that Mason Mount, Kai Havertz are inconsistent to the point of no return. I can't have you have one good game and all of a sudden everyone think you're good again and then 5 games later you're dog shit. I can't have that. I'm sorry. You need to be better. This is Chelsea Football Club. And a lot of people won't like this, but it's the harsh truth. And the fact that Graham Potter's so comfortable to sit there and say, yeah, you know what, Money Mason's going to tell me when he wants to play and I'm going to rotate him. Pathetic. You should be ashamed of yourself. And if anything, this reiterates to me, you might not be ready for it. You might not be ready for a job of this magnitude. This was the first thing where I'm giving you strike one. It's bad enough that you haven't been making us play well. It's bad enough that we don't look organized. But the fact that journalists can ask him as well and get confidence. Sorry, the players did not look like they knew what they were doing. Do you think that's fair? He's like, oh, I don't agree with that. What do you mean don't agree with that? It was a fact. You were crossing the ball into Raheem Sterling against William Saliba. What is that? Absolutely stupid. Stupid. Now I'm vexed up. I'm going to be on Chelsea Hour tonight. I'm going to be talking to Chelsea Hour around about 8 o'clock. Podcast will be out on Friday. It's a Patreon version, so if you guys are going to go and watch that, in the comments, let me know. I'll send you guys the link. Go and support the boys at Chelsea Hour. But I'm vexed. I can't lie to you lot. This was the Kavkas View. I hope you lot enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully tomorrow, if I do a preview match for the Manchester City game, we are going to be more positive. We are going to be more energetic. We're going to be smiling a lot more because we need to. And hopefully the boys give us something to clutch onto for some hope, some optimism. But I think we can go and beat Manchester City and Newcastle. I'm still going to be doom and gloom until then we're back. Thank God for the World Cup. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely